SSERAFIM at Coachella went absolutely viral for some good reasons and for some unfortunately not so great reasons as well. But overall, this performance has brought up a lot of questions such as, is Hybe ruining live performances in K-pop? And has also dragged a ton of other K-pop groups into this, such as Blackpink and aespa. So I wanted to take a look at the praise and the backlash and everything in between in this episode of K-pop Investigations, where we basically take a specific subject and do a little bit of a deep dive into it. Why it seems that SSERAFIM out of all groups is receiving the most backlash. Why K-pop stans are so scared of actual live vocals. And of course, the biggest question regarding talent and idols. Are we all just brainwashed by lip sync, auto-tune, and backup tracks? So if you're interested, then please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. As for us, let's start discussing the very tumultuous past 24 hours. So back in January, it was announced that ATEEZ The Rose and of course SSERAFIM would be performing at Coachella. Here's the announcement in question. Everyone was super excited about it. So this was announced on January 16th. The famous US festival officially revealed its star-studded lineup for 2024. So ATEEZ would be performing on April 12th and 19th, SSERAFIM on April 13th and 20th, and The Rose on the 14th and the 21st. This of course wouldn't be the first time that we see K-pop acts at Coachella, as we've had Epic High in the past, 21, Blackpink, who even headlined last year. You can let me know in the comments if I'm missing anyone, but nevertheless still exciting, right? So ATEEZ's performance was up first. They performed on the 12th, and from what I could see, there was just a lot of praise. People enjoying their energy, lack of shirts. Now, I'm sure there are people in this world who didn't appreciate their performance. I saw a couple forum posts basically alluding to the fact that they didn't like the performance or that they thought that, you know, ATEEZ wasn't all that great. But to say that there was like a significant wave of backlash, I personally didn't see any. Fast forward to SSERAFIM's performance, and I have to say initially I did see a lot of praise, especially for the fact that it was super live. Like, there's no denying that it was super live. There was barely any backup track. So people appreciating the nature of the live stage, people saying that Sakura improved a lot, people loving their energy, and all of the above. The people who were present seem to have been enjoying themselves a lot as well, and I've seen a lot of testimony as well of people who were actually there. But that's always the case, isn't it? We've seen this before in K-pop, performances going viral for the wrong reasons. And you know, you could be there in person and be absolutely loving it. The vast majority of people could be loving it, but there was a live stream, right? So people were able to take screen recordings and spread around the clips that were not favorable. And that in and of itself went viral. I could not scroll through my For You page yesterday without seeing, you know, people trashing SSERAFIM's vocals, people saying essentially that they weren't ready for Coachella, that they sound really bad, that Hybe needs to invest in more vocal training for these groups, people making compilations of their voices wavering. Overall, a lot of people talking about how they're not sounding really great. Now, we do need to counteract this, of course, because it's not all bad. It's definitely not all bad. There are tons of clips of Sakura going around, of people showing how she's improved, a lot of clips of Chaewon doing really amazing vocals while singing and dancing super live, but this is the internet. This is the nature of the internet. So not only do we have clips going around of voices wavering, but we also have MR removed clips going around as well. Now, Coachella copyright claims absolutely everything, so we're gonna see if we could just hear a little bit of something, but I'm not showing you anything. SSERAFIM Smart Live MR removed. And now here's the thing, if a group is lip syncing and you remove the music, you're still gonna hear that lip sync track. So people do tend to misuse MR removed clips to be like, oh, look how stable they are, when in reality it might be a lip sync stage. So if you remove the music from a lip sync recording, you're still gonna hear those lip sync vocals, which I have no reason to believe this would be a pre-recorded lip sync track. Do you know what I mean? But there was one singer that I really admire who was straight up lip syncing. Like the mouth shapes and everything was not matching at all. She was like shaking her body all around and you heard nothing. Anyways, I'm just pointing that out because a lot of people are saying like, you can't lip sync at Coachella. That's not true. I'm not too sure the point of the MR removed in this case, when it literally, like, we could hear the vocals pretty clearly. Because there was some article titled like SSERAFIM exposed by MR removed clips, and it's like, well, we could already hear the vocals, do you know what I mean? So like isolating them, sure, you could hear them a little bit better, but do you know what I mean? Like we already heard what we heard. So anyways, here are some comments about the MR removed. However, people said that Chaewon did the best, but what is this? What was that? Skills aside, the reaction of their fandom was just hopeless. This is in reference to, now again, we can never generalize, but based on articles alone, it seems that there's this narrative that K-netizens are absolutely horrified by the performance and international stans are absolutely praising the performance. And then K-netizens are like, oh my god, international stans are delusional. But I've literally seen praise and backlash on both ends, so take that with a grain of salt. Honestly, they wouldn't be in such a big controversy if they were a 5-member group and at least 2 of them were solid vocalists who can carry the group. But here, all 5 of them must take vocal training as soon as possible. Sakura is honestly always at that level. Kazuha, Inte, and Sakura were so bad, they're ruining their own parts. This makes me doubtful of how they even ranked on Billboard. Stop just giving us the ambitious concept. I honestly didn't hear easy nor smart. The kids here who are typing forced hate, forced this and that, you guys make me cringe. People sing that tone hard carried. Where are they now? Here are some international stan comments. Fans will forever defend them and support them. That's the only thing labels care about. I don't get needing MR removed when they're known to not be reliable. The MR didn't even need to be removed because the Coachella stream was completely unedited. That's my thought as well. Okay, so in this clip in particular, they're basically implying that thanks to the amazing AR and live band playing, it covered up their singing skills. So nobody could tell they were bad, but then the catastrophe was caught through YouTube's live transmission magic. So the implication here is that people who were there were hearing something different to what the live stream was showcasing. And I mean, when you're recording a fan cam, of course, it's quite different to a professionally recorded thing. I mean, you're going to hear people screaming, you're not going to hear it as clearly. And this wouldn't be the first time that this happens, but usually it's the opposite. Usually you hear the live performance through the fan cams, and then in the broadcast version, it's totally perfected. I remember this example I used to give all the time. It was BTS's Dynamite. And in the fan cams, you could hear Jungkook's voice move when he kicked in the choreography, and then in the live broadcast it was smoothed out. Just an example to show that idols could be very well singing super live, but then these music shows or award shows can totally alter the final product. But this implication is the opposite, right? That people in the crowd were hearing more smoothed out vocals in comparison to the broadcast where you're really not hearing smoothed out anything at all. I want to know that, do you hear the difference? Or do you think it's just simple differences that can be accounted for because it's a fan cam versus a professionally filmed stage? But let's read some of the comments. Copyright owner can't actually show any of the Coachella clips. So the video was removed, but basically OP talks about how fan cams show what people heard on site, and it sounded like mostly AR and band, so it wasn't as bad as the YouTube live where you could actually hear them singing. They used AR to try to cover it, but in the end they were so bad that they still created a disaster. Their own fan cams betrayed them. AR's contribution is impressive. Wow, I was curious and the difference is appalling. They seriously can't live without AR. Oh, it's so different. I need to stop myself right here just because the use of a backup track and vocal smoothing is super standard in K-pop. You're really very rarely going to ever find a performance that doesn't have those 2 factors. And actually, if they don't have those 2 factors, it's usually a lip sync stage anyways. Again, you're so rarely going to hear a live stage without any support whatsoever. In fact, the last time I can remember a stage like that was me on stage, where she received so much backlash and actually apologized for it. Do you remember that? And actually, even before that, I remember a SSERAFIM stage, I think it was on Music Bank, where they were super live. Do you guys remember that stage? I think it was Music Bank. But anyways, we'll get to that later as well, types of performances and stuff. Oh, it's so different. I bet they were sure having fun on site. Even the fan cam, you can kind of hear them singing off tune that badly, but wow, it's so bad. Still, I'm relieved that people who spend money to see them at least had fun, aka because the AR and the band were so loud. Was the song always this tacky, or the arrangement made it tacky? It's not only SSERAFIM, but all idols are like this nowadays, especially at concerts. Wow, all you could hear on site was really just AR. So then this clip basically shows Chaewon messing up her note, which of course in and of itself got backlash. You're telling this isn't me and my friends singing at a noraebang, but the SSERAFIM at Coachella. This should be broadcasted in Korean music shows at best. I'm begging you, please practice a bit. At this rate, just lip sync. Of course she's allowed to make mistakes. At least Cheonyi did the best among all of them. Ugh, I'm embarrassed, but even good singers' voices would crack once or twice. And then it's just more mean comments, honestly. But there were a lot of people also defending her, saying that she was generally doing so well and it's not that big of a deal to make a mistake like this. There was also a lot of criticism about them yelling, which I thought was so interesting because maybe I'm getting this wrong with the instances where I heard them yelling. They were trying to hype up the crowd, or sometimes you run out of breath and you like need to yell to get your line out. And I think that's totally fine. I feel like that's part of a live performance. If you're lip syncing, that's you can't do that because it's already pre-recorded. But like that's the beauty of a live performance, the fact that it does vary quite a lot. That is not going to sound like the studio version, that you can yell here and there. But that's like the point, is to hype up the crowd. That's my opinion. But the amount of comments about them yelling, I was really surprised, to be honest. So in contrast to those comments that we were reading, how it was basically all AR, in this comment section, they're basically saying, well, there's no AR at all. Like, this is the live, like, raw vocals of SSERAFIM in the live stream. Wow, but there's barely any AR. They're doing good. Kim Tae-won and Hyunjin are doing really good job. Wow, all the other members are good too. They're good. They are working hard, but they aren't good at all. Hyunjin is good. You guys really think this is good? Aside from Hyunjin, there's no member who's stable. What the? Are you posting this to hate on them? Kim Tae-won is good. I'm seeing her in a new light. People here have such low standards. You guys are really calling this good? So in light of all of this, a bunch of groups have gotten dragged into this as well. Most notably Blackpink, who performed first in 2019 and then headlined last year. I mean, they're going viral all over again. But I believe between 2019 and last year, they kept going viral every year during Coachella anyways. But this time, definitely you're seeing a lot of comparisons between Blackpink and SSERAFIM. People praising their live performance. You get the gist. And then, of course, aespa also got dragged into this because they performed at Coachella, and initially, I remember them getting dragged a lot for their Coachella performance. People saying they were too nervous, that they didn't have good stage presence. But now it seems people are seeing it in a new light, that they had really good vocals during the performance. And of course, comparing it to SSERAFIM. And then for whatever reason this morning, Rise also got dragged into this. Rise, who is getting in a controversy for being as bad as SSERAFIM for their recent live performance. So they performed Memories. I'm telling you, the minute we start hearing more actually live performances in K-pop, fans are not going to know what to do with themselves. But anyways, I thought that was totally random. Hybe has also gotten dragged into this. Now, Hybe is like a huge umbrella company, right? But you get the gist, because Islet too, during this same time frame, have gotten a lot of backlash for their encore stages. And the SSERAFIM have too in the past, of course. So the accusation is Hybe is destroying K-pop. In the past, K-pop was known for its stringent quality. Only the cream of the crop made it to debut, with years of training under their belt. Up to the third generation, it was uncommon for trainees to debut with less than a year of training. Slowly, this tradition began to crumble, with companies such as Hybe pushing out trainees for a debut with just a few months of training. Famously, Islet's Wonhee made her appearance on Are You Next with just a few weeks of training. She was soon selected for debut. Similarly, SSERAFIM's Kaza debuted with just around half a year of training only. OP feels that while the traditional big three companies, SM, JYP, and YG, slowly send their trainees out for debut over a period of time, Hybe merely pushes out kids with lacking skills for mass production, while media playing that they're BTS's Dongsaeng groups. So the original poster of this says that fans make it worse by being okay with this. At least the other companies don't debut GOATs. What? The way they gas up music streams is so real. Looking at music charts, it feels like I'm looking at faceless singers or Instagram stars. Even if the big three fought like F back then, they still keep the line. Now it's all just payola, such a bubble. To be honest, OP didn't lie. Skills is one thing, but Hybe has just become the root of evil against K-pop. Starting from the prices of concerts, all the discomfiting tactics have all started from them. Does it seem like this only affects fans? It affects stocks too. That's why you can't let entertainment companies be commercialized. They do media plays so much, and all the middle-aged dogs with stocks shield them so much. SM Entertainment was really good at this, and it seems like it's Hybe now. Apart from all the idols they took over, 17 from US9, etc., all the idols they have produced themselves are not at the level of singers if you listen to their live singing. So what exactly went wrong with LE SSERAFIM's performance? Why does it seem that in some fan cams you could hear some type of backup track versus the live stream where it seemed like there was literally nothing, barely anything supporting them during their performance where they're singing and dancing? So that's the first thing. Maybe it was a technical difficulty. Maybe they themselves didn't fully realize what they were sounding like while they were performing, because we are seeing two different types of performances in the same performance. One performance that feels quite supported by a backup track and vocal smoothing versus a performance with absolutely nothing behind it. Now, it's dangerous when you have absolutely nothing supporting your vocals, because that's when you hear every single imperfection, and K-pop fans can't handle it. People are going to bring up groups that can perfectly sing and dance without any support. I'm just saying, the state of K-pop as it is right now, that's just not common. It's not common to find a performance without a backup track and without vocal smoothing. And if that's the case, it's a lip sync stage. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not common. It's not standard practice in this industry at all. It is what it is. That's absolutely not a drag. It's just a way to make a performance more enjoyable. If we look at ATEEZ's performances, aespa's performance, Blackpink's performance, they all had some type of support. And again, it's not a diss towards them. They all sounded really amazing. And you can still hear rawness through the supports. It's just the nature of performances. It's so rare to not find. I literally saw a DJ performing, and you know, the DJ, they're not singing or anything, but they still have a microphone. They're still talking to the crowd. I saw a DJ that every time he spoke, it was smoothed out through the microphone. So it's just an interesting observation, because why didn't LE SSERAFIM have any of this? Or maybe they thought they did, and then the live stream kind of did them dirty. Now, of course, this doesn't exempt them from criticism. It is your right to not vibe with their performance. But I do find it interesting when K-pop groups lip sync, people are like, oh my god, the stability, these groups sound amazing. They sound just like the studio version, and nobody bats an eye. But when a group is like bold enough, or maybe they were tricked into actually singing live, people are like, oh my god, no, untalented. I can't believe they had the audacity to breathe. What? Which I find super interesting, because I personally don't vibe with just straight up lip syncing performances. I find them quite uninspired, and it's my right to think so. That's not illegal. I would much rather have someone sound horrible, but they're giving me energy. They're giving me something that I can feed off of. Even if it's a little irritating, even if it's not perfect, I would choose that rather than a lip sync stage. But that's the thing. Those are not the only two choices. That's why we have, again, I'm like a broken record, backup tracks and vocal smoothing. But I'd love to know what you would pick. If you had to choose between someone sounding just really bad because they're singing and dancing, but it's raw and you can feel their energy, or just straight up lip syncing and everything is perfect and your listening and watching experience just goes so smoothly, which would you pick? But I did make a short about this, so let's see what some of you have to say. Honestly, if we didn't have Coachella, we probably would have never seen them sing 100% live. I do want to point out that super live music bank performance, but this was probably the last time. No. The audience actually being fans and into the performance added a lot to the energy. This was probably the biggest issue with when aespa performed. No one knew who they were, and there were little to no crowd sing along. Sakura gagged me. I kind of expected her to struggle and not being able to stay stable, but I was so wrong. She was way stable than she usually is and has improved a lot since the Easy Encore. This is something I realized about LE SSERAFIM. It feels like a group with amazing potential, but wasn't trained long enough and debut prepared for things like dance and stage presence, but not fully on vocals and stamina. Losing a member didn't help with that, so they feel undercooked compared to other groups, but it feels like talent is just jumping to burst out and needs more time. They improved so much, so proud of them. They improved a lot. Damn, y'all need to realize that majority of people there don't know about their live vocals, so they won't hear improvement but just hear mediocrity. I don't think the screaming is a problem, but the off-pitch vocals were the problem. Now, in a recent update, actually, it seems that Sakura released a post on Weverse that seems to kind of address things, but not super addressing. Like, it's not like, okay, we received so much hate and I'm addressing this. But let's just read what she had to say. From the preparations for Coachella to the day of the performance, I learned so much. What does it mean to stand on stage? Is it about presenting a perfect image? Is it about entertaining the audience? Or is it about flawlessly executing the performance without a single mistake? Standards may vary from person to person. It may also depend on what kind of stage it is. I wanted to create a stage that even those who didn't know us, those hearing our songs for the first time would find incredibly fun, a stage that would make them feel that today was a wonderful, unforgettable day. And I believe that my determination came through, and we were able to deliver the best performance. We, who debuted less than 2 years ago and have only toured once, stood proudly on the Coachella stage, enjoyed ourselves, and gave our all to this performance. That alone made it truly a day that defines both life and the SSERAFIM for me. Fear not, you too will face many challenges and injustices in life, but only you truly know what you have done. I seriously prepared for this stage, I struggled through it, and enjoyed it. On the day of the show, I believed I was able to show everything. To some eyes, it might appear immature, but no one is perfect for everyone, and it is an undeniable fact that among all the stages we have shown, this was the best. That's why I'm very excited to become a better team, and I really want to work even harder. What you gain by comparing yourself with others and what you gain by comparing yourself with your past self are entirely different. Please, even if just living normally is hard, find something you truly love in this difficult world and focus only on the good, the things you like. Focusing only on the good is not indulgence, it's your life, and you have the right to live the way you want. Today, as I walked around the Coachella grounds, several people came up to me and said, "Your performance yesterday was amazing." Just that alone was incredibly moving to me. The fact that the audience enjoyed themselves to the end, singing along with us and sharing such a wonderful space, it is the greatest memory for me. No matter what anyone thinks, I believe in what I felt. That's why I've come this far. I won't betray myself, and I will continue to believe in myself. I am filled with gratitude for the staff, dancers, band members, and everyone who helped create this performance. And to fear not to rush to the stage, and those who watched us via stream, thank you so much. Because you were there, I could perform with pride. Thank you truly. And as we continue, I will strive to show you unimaginable sights. So please keep supporting us. Thank you so much, Coachella. We'll keep pushing forward next week too. I mean, the thing is, had they just straight up lip synced their stage, you know damn well that they would have gotten so much backlash. And I actually did see a singer who was lip syncing, and it really broke my heart because you just, in my opinion, you don't really feel the energy. Like, what energy is there to feel when it's not real? And again, no one is above criticism, but I do think it's so bold to be able to go out there and sing super live with barely anything helping you or supporting you and facing that criticism. Kudos to them, honestly, because K-pop fans, they're just not used to hearing live stages at all. And I promise you, if you were, there would be so much backlash. Because if there's one thing you can expect in live stages is uncertainty. It's not going to sound the same every time. You're going to have mistakes. I actually really appreciated their energy. I actually really appreciated the boldness of the performance. I would much rather someone be able to sing live and me be actually able to tell what I think of a stage rather than a lip sync stage where you're just like, there's really not much to say. It's sounds pre-recorded. If a group can show you who they really are at the rawest, most pure form, even if it's not up to your standards, I still think that's super admirable. You can accuse me of ass kissing all you want in the comments. I just think that's the beauty of performance. If they were lip syncing, you know, I'd be sitting here complaining about that. I'm not gonna sit here and tear them apart for actually singing live, because that's what I want more of. You can learn from your live stages. There's not much to learn out of not actually performing. So those are my thoughts. But let me know what you think. Do you think our expectation of live stages are just completely out of this world because we're so used to lip syncing? Do you think we're being too hard on groups that dare to sing live in an industry that's not super common? Or do you think idols just need to be better? Let me know in the comments below. As for me, that is basically it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me in this little deep dive. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. I'm gonna get going, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye!